What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. For today's episode, we teamed up with Bushmills to celebrate the upcoming final season of Peaky Blinders, as well as the release of their new limited edition Shelby Company Prohibition style whiskey. My name's Leandro DiManriva, and this is The Educated Barfly. The ending was priceless. Let's get into making the cocktail. For the three of you that don't know, Peaky Blinders is a BBC series that follows the exploits of a Birmingham gang of the same name. What many of you may not know is that the show is based on a real Birmingham gang that operated in 1880 to 1910 and held major interest in everything from illegal gambling to robbery to racketeering and illegal bookmaking. The gang was largely made up of working class men who were lashing out against the harsh economic realities of the lower class in Britain at that time. The members wore a signature outfit which included tailored waistcoats, bell-bottom pants, silk scarves, and newsboy hats. And they had complete control of the Birmingham underworld until they were ousted by another gang called the Birmingham Boys, led by a notorious gang leader named Billy Kimber. Later on in history, the term Peaky Blinders became not synonymous with any street gang operated in Birmingham. Although Peaky Blinders were a specific gang, as time went on, the term Peaky Blinders became synonymous with any street gang operating in Birmingham. So obviously the series is a fictionalized retelling of the exploits of the Peaky Blinders gang and features several actual historic characters, which is pretty cool. I actually love shows that do that. I don't know about you guys, but I am really excited for the final season of Peaky Blinders, and so today we're going to be making some Peaky Blinders inspired cocktails. So the first cocktail we're doing is called a Shelby Sour. Get our tin. Grab a lemon, give it the old juicy pants, and we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and then we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of orange liqueur. I really wanted to use the Clement Creole shrub because it has these nice spice notes that's gonna go really well with the whiskey. 1.5 ounces of our Prohibition style whiskey by order of the Shelby Company, and this is gonna be an egg white cocktail. We are gonna take our large tin. I'm gonna crack our egg and separate the white. If you do not want to do this with egg white, we have a video on other vegan options to get the same style of foam, so just click the link above and go see that video. I like to shake with a big rock of ice because it's gonna give you a little bit of dilution, but it's gonna give you very superior foam and texture. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna add it in, and we're just gonna let that sit for a second. So if you feel like you're not getting enough dilution with the big rock of ice, you can add a little cheater cube like this and then just shake until it's fully melted, and then you'll have that extra dilution that you want. So I'm gonna give it a nice big shake. I think this glass is just a little bit more appropriate for someone like Tommy Shelby. And so we're gonna just give this a strain. I like to double strain it just in case there's any residual ice shards from any breakage in the cocktail. And there we have our Shelby Sour. It's like an explosion of flavor in your mouth. I mean, it's just a pretty typical sour. You got your lemon, you got your simple syrup balancing that lemon out. It's nice and tart. But then you get those spiced orange notes from the liqueur, and you get the barrel notes from the whiskey, and it all just plays really well together. It's just a very nice, light cocktail, and something I think that Tommy Shelby would drink on maybe an off day. So for the next cocktail we're making today, we're going to be doing an Irish Old Fashioned. On the show, the Shelbys sit around drinking neat whiskey all the time, but we are a cocktail channel, and so I think an Irish Old Fashioned would be in order. The first thing we're gonna do here is, you guessed it, a little Demerara sugar. Just add that to the bottom of our glass, equivalent of 1 dash of Angostura bitters, and then 2 dashes of orange bitters. I like to use a spoon with a little muddler on the back of it, just to muddle it up a little. And then we're also gonna do a skosh of soda water. Try and combine that sugar, but not fully. 2 ounces of our Bushmills Prohibition Shelby whiskey. And then we're gonna use another spoon to lower our ice in there and give it a stir. And last but certainly not least, we're gonna just do a nice orange twist here. Like so. And we just add that into the glass. And there you have a Shelby Old Fashioned, or an Irish Old Fashioned for the Shelbys. Oh, I love it. The Demerara sugar really plays well with this whiskey. The whiskey has a lot of jammy marmalade notes. It also has a very prominent malt flavor profile right in the front, and that just devolves to all of these vanilla, caramel. You get a little bit of honey. There's almost like an ice cream vibe to it. Then you got the Demerara sugar that's playing in those molasses notes, and the orange bitters that's just upping the orange, and the fresh orange oil on top. Mwah, I love it, chef's kiss. There it is, the Irish Old Fashioned for the Shelbys. In lieu of a third cocktail recipe, I thought it might be kind of nice to just pour a little dram and neat. It's nice and sweet and really orangey. So you know those orange flavor profiles that we used in the cocktails are the reason why they come through so much. It's almost like marmalade, kind of jammy. You can almost smell the malt on it. You get those barrel notes. You can kind of detect that caramel. You can detect, I don't know, maybe peanut brittle. There's all like an ice cream quality to it, which is really crazy. All right, let's. Nice full flavored whiskey. And what I will say is that a lot of Irish whiskeys tend to be a little flat on the flavor profile. But this whiskey is really, really flavorful. You get a lot of that malt right up front. You get the caramel and you get the vanilla that you would get from bourbon in this because it's aged in bourbon casks, and you can really get that. You get a little bit of the oak coming through. There's almost no residual bitterness. It is a medium finish. And then on top of that, as the whiskey opens up in your mouth on your back palate, it's like a sweetness that pops right on the front of your palate. And then it just devolves into like this kind of full flavored burn right in the back of your throat. It's really nice. This is something that I really just like to drink, you know? I mean, I can put this in cocktails. What's really great about this whiskey is that you get that malt right on the front end, but then it just opens up to this really powerful flavors of marmalade and almonds and cinnamon. You get a little caramel in there, vanilla. And you get that because of the bourbon barrel aging. I could just sit with this at the end of the night, drink a dram of it, and be a very happy camper. Well, as I said earlier, in the 1900s, there was no chill filtration, but what also gives you that taste of Prohibition is that back then, they were almost exclusively using bourbon barrels to age. So you really get that Prohibition taste. What you have is a whiskey that's really true to the era that it's emulating. It was very, very carefully overseen by Bushmills master distiller Colm Egan to really give you that taste of Prohibition. And what differentiates this from a lot of other Irish whiskeys is that some Irish whiskey can really fall flat. You get that malty flavor profile, and then it really has just a short finish, and it's a little bit watery, and it just kind of falls flat. And what this whiskey does is really burst with all of those flavors. It's really nice. It opens up really big, and you get the benefits of that bourbon barrel aging, but you also get that nice Irish whiskey flavor profile. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the... And then after their decline and their ouster from... So later on, so that the whiskey won't cloud when chilled. What?
No, there was too cloudy.
So what you have is a whiskey that's really...